So I want to talk, before we move on to the concept of cross products. I want to talk about unit vectors. Unit vectors. Right. So I told you about the unit vectors I, J, and K, and therefore by default I told you about the unit vectors minus I, minus J, and minus K. These 6 unit vectors are helping us to define 6 possible directions. So we have I cap, we have J cap, we have K cap, and then we have minus I cap, minus J cap, minus K cap. But ultimately what I want to be able to do is I want to say, look, that this direction has a particular unit vector. So basically, I want you to show today, I want to show you today, how do we write or how do we define very precisely the concept of direction using vectors. So first of all, let me talk about the definition of a unit vector. Right? A unit vector is basically any vector divided by its magnitude. Okay, and ये हमने last time भी discuss किया था that the sole purpose of a unit vector is to point out a direction. Right? This is the only purpose of a unit vector. And way before, when I started vectors, I told you that, look, I'm sort of cheating in the sense that I'm telling you a notation for the direction of vector A, but I'm not telling you its value. Right? So now we are ready to know its value. So A cap or A hat was really a unit vector along the direction of A. And the definition of A hat or A cap is vector A divided by its magnitude. Okay? So this implies that I can always write the vector as the product of 2 objects. One is a positive number, which will tell me the magnitude of the vector, and the other is a unit vector, which will be in the form of I cap, J cap, K cap, but it will have a magnitude of 1, right? Therefore, when we multiply these two objects together, we will get the vector itself. Right? And this is the most wonderful equation because on the left hand side, we have a vector quantity, and on the right hand side, we have magnitude, which has been multiplied by direction. Now, till now, I told you that direction कैसे लिखना है ये मैंने नहीं बताया आप till now, but today I will tell you how to write the direction. Therefore, you should be able to always write a vector in terms of magnitude and direction. Okay, so let's see. So let me first start with 2 dimensions. We have the standard XY axis. Right. Now in 2 dimensions, the concept of angles is still active, still working. Therefore, for any vector A, we must have, or we can define the direction with this angle theta. Remember that theta is always measured from the positive x-axis and it's always going to go anti-clockwise, right? So you can always say that vector A makes an angle 30 degrees or 120 degrees or 210 degrees or 300 degrees, right? It would all make sense. Up to 0 to 360 degrees in 2 dimensions, you can define the direction. So what I want to do is I want to write this in the I cap j cap form, right? So I just have to find the components of this vector. And I'm telling you that the magnitude of this vector is r. That means the length of the blue arrow is r. Therefore, this component would be equal to r into cosine theta, and this component would be equal to r into sine theta, right? And therefore, I can write the vector A as r cosine theta I cap plus r sine theta j cap. So the vector A, now I can write as r, I can take common. In bracket mein I can write cos theta I cap plus sine theta j cap. Right? But I have just told you that we can always write a vector as a product of the magnitude and the direction, right? And if you look carefully at this expression that I have just written, then you know that this object is the magnitude and you know that this object is the, therefore you know that this object is the direction, right? Okay, so I am saying that the vector cosine theta I cap plus sine theta j cap is a unit vector. We can measure the magnitude of this vector. We can find out the magnitude. The magnitude will be equal to how much? The magnitude of this vector will be equal to how much? It will be equal to cosine square theta plus sine square theta, which is equal to 1. Right? So in 2 dimensions, the direction can be defined by the unit vector cosine theta I cap plus sine theta j cap. So instead of saying that the blue vector is at an angle of 30 degrees, I will say, or I can alternatively say, that the direction of vector A is cosine 30 degrees I cap plus sine 30 degrees j cap, that is root 3 I cap plus j cap divided by 2. If the vector A has an angle of 60 degrees, then I can say that the direction of this vector is cosine 60 I cap plus sine 60 j cap, that is I cap plus root 3 j cap divided by 2. Now, I cap plus root 3 j cap divided by 2 may seem like a vector to you, right? It is a vector, of course it is a vector, but it is sort of special because it is a unit vector. And the unit vector is pointing out a direction. So if I tell you that the vector, that this blue vector is actually 3 I cap plus 4j cap, let me write this down. If the vector A is 3 I cap plus 4j cap, then the magnitude of vector A is equal to 5 and the direction of vector A is equal to 3 I cap plus 4j cap divided by 5. Right? So the direction is a vector, but its magnitude is 1. And we will see later on that it is a unitless quantity. In fact, अभी clear हो जाना चाहिए ये unitless क्यों है. अगर इनके यूनिट्स होते, अगर मैं ये बोलता कि फोर्स वेक्टर ए है, तो मुझे लिखना पड़ता ये फोर्स वेक्टर 3 I cap प्लस 4j cap न्यूटन्स है. तो इसका मैग्नीट्यूड कितना हो जाएगा, 5 न्यूटन हो जाएगा, राइट. तो ए कैप is 3 I cap plus 4j cap Newton divided by 5 Newton. So the units, they cancel out and we get this direction as a vector having no units, right? So in physics, it all works out very well. तो अगर आपको किसी भी वेक्टर का डायरेक्शन निकालना है और वो वेक्टर I cap, J cap, K cap में दिया हुआ है, तो all you have to do is divide that vector by its magnitude. Divide the vector by its magnitude. That's it. That is a unit vector. Right? No, vectors are not always unitless. Vectors are not always unitless. If I tell you that there is a force vector which is equal to I cap plus root 3 j cap newtons, then what you will do is that you will have an xy axis and you will draw the components. You will say, अच्छा ठीक है, root 3 j cap बोला है तो root 3 j cap ये आ गया, I cap बोला है तो I cap ये आ गया, and then you will of course complete the parallelogram and you will draw the actual vector. So this is the force vector. This is the force. Now you can tell me the magnitude and direction of this vector. Very easy. You can tell me that the magnitude of the force vector is given by Pythagoras theorem, which is 1 plus 3, which is equal to 2 newtons. The direction of the vector also for you is very very easy. You can just say that this angle is theta, and then you can get that tan theta is equal to the y component, length of the y arrow upon length of the red arrow. Theta is equal to 60 degrees, right? So this would be absolutely correct. Okay? This is absolutely correct. No problems here. What I am saying is that there is an alternate way of saying this. The alternate way, or the more superior way, although I'm saying it is superior, but for us, the physics that we are studying, this is not really going to be superior. For the physics that we are studying, this is sufficient, जो मैंने लिखा है. But an alternate way of writing would be that the magnitude of F is equal to 2 newtons. So the direction of F now you can write as the vector divided by its magnitude. So the direction you can write as I by root 3 j cap divided by 2, right? And no units here. And no units here. So this is an alternate way of writing. Why is it superior to this thing that we have already written? It is superior because it carries forward as it is in 3 dimensions. Okay, you don't need to make changes in 3 dimensions. You don't need to make changes in 1 dimension. This is it. This is how you define it. In 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension, 4 dimension, कुछ भी. But ये जो थीटा वाला जो है, जो एंगल 60 डिग्रीज है, ये आप 3 डायमेंशन में नहीं ले जा सकते. आप 3 डायमेंशन में एंगल्स की नहीं बात कर सकते हैं, राइट? आई मीन बात कर सकते हैं, बट 3 डायमेंशन में एक no, you cannot add and subtract directions. No, you cannot add and subtract directions. You can add and subtract vectors, right? Therefore, in a sense, you are adding and subtracting directions. बट केवल यूनिट वेक्टर्स को लेके ऐड और सब्ट्रैक्ट करने का कोई मतलब नहीं है. मीनिंगलेस एक्टिविटी हो जाएगी. तो अगर मैं एक बहुत ही क्रूड सा एग्जाम्पल इसमें वो करूं, तो इफ 2 people are getting married, then if one of them decides, they can change their surname, right? But you are not going to change the address. I mean, तो अगर एक कपल ने शादी किया, तो एक कपल में एक मेंबर ने अपना सरनेम चेंज किया, दूसरे का सरनेम ले लिया, मिक्स कर दिया, नेम और सरनेम मिक्स हो गया, लेकिन एड्रेसेस नहीं मिक्स हो सकते हैं ना. तो कपल ये नहीं करेगा ना कि भाई हाँ ठीक है, मेरा खारगर का एड्रेस है, नेहरू का एड्रेस है, तो शादी के बाद अब एड्रेस हम खारगर नेहरू लिखेंगे. So adding and subtracting directions would be something like that. It would be a meaningless quantity. It would be meaningless object. You can add and subtract vectors, no problem. Therefore, in a sense, you are adding and subtracting direction, but direction without magnitude is हाँ. मैं कुछ बोल रहा था, मैं कुछ बोलते बोलते मैं भूल गया. हाँ, मैं ये बोल रहा था कि ये ऑल्टरनेट सुपीरियर इसलिए है, सुपीरियर इसलिए है क्योंकि यही काम आप 1 डायमेंशन में करो चलेगा, 2 डायमेंशन में करो चलेगा, 3 डायमेंशन में करो चलेगा. लेकिन ये जो काम किया है हमने यहाँ पे, एंगल वाला काम, ये काम 2 डायमेंशन में ही काम करेगा. ये 1 डायमेंशन और 3 डायमेंशन में नहीं काम करेगा. 1 डायमेंशन में एंगल एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करेंगे, और 2 डायमेंशन में 3 डायमेंशन में एंगल्स एग्जिस्ट करेंगे, लेकिन एक एंगल से आप कुछ नहीं बिगाड़ सकते. यू नीड टू डिफाइन 3 एंगल्स, एंड इफ यू हैव स्टडीड द नोट्स, आई हैव डिफाइंड दोस 3 एंगल्स. नोट्स में मैंने कहीं पे डाला हुआ है वो. उसको डायरेक्शन कोसाइंस बोलते हैं, राइट? बट वी विल नॉट स्टडी. हमारे लिए जो फिजिक्स रहेगा, that will be confined majorly to 2 dimensions, right? Very rarely in the chapters of rotation, in the chapters of magnetism, we'll be coming to 3 dimensions. जब 3 dimension में आएंगे भी, तो भी इस तरीके से आएंगे कि 2 dimension का प्लस माइनस से ही हमारा काम चल जाएगा. आई कैप, जे कैप, के कैप में काम करने का बहुत ही रेयर वो रहेगा, चांस रहेगा. ठीक है ना? Okay, so what would happen in 3 dimensions then? What would happen in 3 dimensions? So we have a vector. अच्छा, कोई एक मिनट रुको, मैं क्वेश्चन देखा नहीं किसी ने जो पूछा है. हाँ, we have to leave it like that only. हाँ, yes. Suppose we have to find angle between 2 vectors in 3D. हाँ, suppose we have to find the angle between 2 vectors in 3D, तो कोई इशू नहीं है. तब तो आप सीधा ये यूज करो, cosine theta is equal to a dot b upon mod of a mod of b. this will tell you the angle between the two vectors. जहां पे दो वेक्टर्स हैं कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, प्रॉब्लम तीसरे में आती है, प्रॉब्लम कम्स इन थर्ड ओनली. चलो मैं करके दिखाता हूँ. I'll try to do it here. I don't know if I can, but I'll try to do it. ये है 3 डायमेंशन कोऑर्डिनेट एक्सिस, और इसमें ये कोई तो वेक्टर है, और ये ऐसा वेक्टर है कि ये एक्सीड कर गया. ये है वेक्टर, ये ऐसा वेक्टर है कि इसका right, so it is something like this, and the directions that we are going to define, अगर इसको हमें एंगल डिफाइन करना है, यहाँ पे एंगल डिफाइन करने के लिए मैं क्या करूंगा, मैं बोलूंगा कि ये z एक्सिस से जो एंगल बना रहा है ये गामा है, ये वेक्टर जो x एक्सिस से एंगल बना रहा है ये अल्फा है, राइट. मैंने उल्टा लिख दिया. y एक्सिस से जो एंगल बना रहा है ये बीटा है, और जो z एक्सिस से एंगल बना रहा है वो गामा है, राइट. If you have read the notes, अगर आपने नोट्स पढ़े हैं जो मैंने भेजे थे, can you tell me the value of cosine alpha if this vector A is equal to xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap? What is the value of cosine alpha? Cosine alpha. Very nice. Yes. Good. Good. और कोई? Only one answer. Cosine alpha क्या होएगा? हाँ, but yes, you are absolutely right. But थोड़ा सा और अच्छे से अपन लिख सकते हैं ना उसको. तो कोसाइन अल्फा के लिए पहले तो वो राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल देखना पड़ेगा कहाँ है. तो हाँ, राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल ये रहा, थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ बना दिया. राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल विल बी हियर, राइट. ये राइट एंगल. तो जो ब्लू लाइन है वो हाइपोटेन्यूज हो गया, और जो x कंपोनेंट है, राइट, जो x कंपोनेंट है वो बेस हो गया. So cos alpha will be equal to the modulus of the x component vector divided by the modulus of vector A, which will be equal to x upon under root of x square plus y square plus z square. Right. Similarly, can you figure out the value of cos beta, cos gamma, and tell me the value of cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma? बिल्कुल सही है. Yes, absolutely right. So this will be equal to 1. And this cosine alpha is called a direction cosine. तो अगर 3D में आप एक वेक्टर का एंगल बताना चाहते हैं तो आप बेसिकली तीन चीजें बतानी पड़ेंगी आपको, कोसाइन अल्फा, कोसाइन गामा, कोसाइन बीटा और कोसाइन गामा। ये तीन चीजें जब आप बताएंगे then you are talking about the angle of the vector in 3 dimensions. जब तक दो लाइन हैं केवल, there are only 2 vectors, तब तक कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, वो कहीं भी एग्जिस्ट करें उनके बीच का एंगल एक ही होएगा। तो सीधा कोसाइन थीटा नहीं, ये फिर से एक्सप्लेन नहीं करना है क्योंकि हमारे सिलेबस में नहीं है, बुकलेट में है, एक बार पढ़ लेना, कोई हम इसका यूज करने ही नहीं वाले हैं तो कोई मतलब नहीं है। चलो आगे बढ़ रहा हूं। आगे बढ़ने से पहले I just again want to write here that if this vector A is equal to xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap, then its magnitude is equal to under root of x square plus y square plus z square, right? And cosine, the direction of this vector. Instead of writing 3 cosines, I can simply say that the direction of this vector is xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap whole divided by under root of x square plus y square plus z square. Right? So this is the direction of the vector. This is a valid answer. That is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? So what is the use of unit vectors? ऐसा हम क्यों कर रहे हैं? ऐसा हम इसलिए कर रहे हैं क्योंकि अगर मैंने फिजिक्स में आपको बोला कि फोर्स इज इक्वल टू वेलोसिटी, फोर्स इज इक्वल टू वेलोसिटी, तो ये सही एक्सप्रेशन है या गलत एक्सप्रेशन? एक पार्टिकल है जिसमें 50 न्यूटन की फोर्स एक पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन में लगी है और उसकी वेलोसिटी उसी डायरेक्शन में 50 मीटर पर सेकेंड है। इज दिस करेक्ट और इज दिस इनकरेक्ट? इज दिस इक्वेशन करेक्ट और इज दिस इक्वेशन इनकरेक्ट? You understand the question, right? There is an object on which there is a force which has a magnitude and a direction, and it has a velocity which also has a magnitude and direction, and it just so happens that the magnitude and velocity for the magnitude and direction for the, क्या हो गया तुम लोग को ये m is equal to 1, m कहां से आ गया इसमें? अबे f is equal to ma होता है। हाँ ये आंसर है, काम कभी फिजिक्स में नहीं कर सकते हैं। दिस इज रॉन्ग, सिंस यूनिट्स ऑफ f and v are different. So even if they have the same magnitude, the same direction, you still cannot equate. Not possible, because of the fact that they have different units. But you can always equate this. इसमें कोई problem नहीं. So this equation is impossible, whereas this equation is possible. Not necessarily true in every situation, It is not necessarily true in every situation. In every situation, the direction of force and direction of velocity may or may not be equal. But if it so happens that the direction of force and direction of velocity are equal, then you can write this equation. Because ये जो cap लगा दिया मैंने, जैसे ही मैंने cap लगाया, वो dimensionless quantity हो गया, unitless quantity हो गया, right? So this is how we are going to use in the future, right? Please remember this. ये हम use करेंगे future में बहुत बार, okay? चलो, so let me move ahead now. Let's talk about cross product. Or vector products. So we have seen that whenever we are carrying out a mathematical operation between two vectors, right? Almost all cases, we have seen that there is a common factor. The common factor is that the two vectors are drawn together. Right? So this is vector A, this is vector B. Okay, so what I did in the dot product was that I dropped a perpendicular from the head of vector A onto vector B. And I said that, look, this distance is the projection of vector A on B, right? Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to define the other length, the projection of vector A along B, yes. Now I'm going to define the other length, and the other length is, I'm going to call the length of perpendicular from A to B. Okay, and I can do this ulta as well. But to do it ulta, I'll have to extend A because A was chota. So I can drop a perpendicular from the head of B onto this A. In this case, this length of the red line would be the length of perpendicular from B to A. Right? So what have I done? What are we doing? We draw the two vectors together, right? And drop perpendicular from one vector to another, right? Okay. Now, since we are dealing with cross product or vector product, we know that the answer is going to be, एक minute, hold the So the we draw the two vectors together and we drop a perpendicular, right? And if I am talking about cross products or vector products, then the answer is going to be a vector quantity. Unlike the previous multiplication. Since the answer is going to be a vector quantity, this means that I must have, or I must define both the magnitude and the direction, right? And this is where things get a little tricky. So you have to follow me very, very closely. I'm going on to the next slide now. In the next slide, I will define the magnitude of the cross product. And in the next to next slide, I will define the direction of the cross product. Okay. So first, let me define the magnitude of the cross product. So magnitude of A cross B. Now, please be clear in your mind that A cross B is a completely different vector, right? 5 into 4 is equal to 20. 5 is an individual number. 4 is an individual number. 20 is an individual number, right? 5 into 4 gives rise to a new number 20. In the same way, A cross B gives rise to a new vector, which you can call C, or you can keep on continuing to call it A cross B, right? It's your choice. So first, the magnitude of A cross B. So the definition of the magnitude of A cross B is the length of perpendicular from A to B multiplied by magnitude of B. Or it is the length of the perpendicular from B to A multiplied by magnitude of A. Right? Either of those expressions will give us the magnitude of the cross product. Now let's go back to this slide, and so if you apply it to the work done wala formula, you will get a nonsensical object. Okay, you cannot simply multiply two things together and expect the answer to make sense. Right? For example, you may multiply vector and velocity and acceleration together. Okay, so velocity is a vector quantity, acceleration is a vector quantity. You may ask, can I take the dot product of velocity and acceleration? Of course you can take it, no problems. Can I take the cross product of velocity and acceleration? Of course you can. They are two vector quantities. आप बिल्कुल उनको multiply कर सकते हो. लेकिन जब आप velocity और acceleration को multiply करोगे, तो आंसर क्या आने वाला है? क्या उसका physical significance है या नहीं है? In this case, velocity and acceleration का multiplication has no physical significance for us. Similarly, if you have force on a particle and displacement of that particle, you take the cross product. Can you take the cross product? Yes, definitely you can take the cross product because these are two vector quantities. But what do you end up with? You end up with nothing. You end up with a quantity which has no physical significance. You take the dot product of force and velocity. What do you end up with? Anybody knows this? You take the dot product of force and velocity. What do you end up with? Anybody has an idea? Very interesting question. If you take the dot product of force and velocity, what do you end up with? Do you end up with a meaningful quantity or do you end up with a meaningless quantity? Any idea? Force dot velocity. Google kar lo. F dot V. Force dot velocity. नहीं भाई मीनिंगलेस नहीं है, अभी तो पूछ रहा हूँ मैं। मीनिंगलेस होता तो मैं पूछता ही नहीं। F dot V, force dot velocity. Force dot velocity turns out is a very common thing that you have learned also. It is the physical thing called power. Right? याद है power? क्या होता है power? Power is the rate of doing work. Right? So apparently the dot product energy per second, yes. So apparently the dot product of force and velocity does have meaning. Can you take the cross product of force and velocity? Yes, of course you can. Nothing stopping you. But it will not have any physical meaning. ठीक है ना, राइट? तो ऐसा नहीं है कि रैंडम मिक्स एंड मैच चल रहा है कि आपके सामने एक लिस्ट ऑफ फिजिकल वेरिएबल्स हैं और आपने जिसका मन चाहा उसको जो है जैसे कर दिया, मल्टीप्लाई कर सकते हैं। मैथमेटिकल ऑपरेशन इज वैलिड, नो प्रॉब्लम्स, बट जो रिजल्ट आ रहा है उसका फिजिकल सिग्निफिकेंस कुछ नहीं है। एक हाँ भाई।
सर अगर हमने अभी जैसे आपने फोर्स और वेलोसिटी बोला था तो उसमें हम डायमेंशनल एनालिसिस से निकाल सकते थे कि ये पावर का फॉर्मूला है। वैसे अगर मैंने कोई दो चीजों को रैंडमली मल्टीप्लाई किया तो जरूरी है कि अगर मुझे उनका डायमेंशन में एक प्रॉपर क्वांटिटी मिल रहा है तो वो पॉसिबल प्रोडक्ट है? नहीं
नहीं नहीं नहीं। तो हम जब डायमेंशनल एनालिसिस करते हैं तो वो डायमेंशनल एनालिसिस के कुछ बाउंडेशंस होते हैं, ठीक है ना। पहला बाउंडेशन ये होता है कि डायमेंशनल एनालिसिस करके कभी भी मैं कांस्टेंट की वैल्यू नहीं निकाल सकता हूँ। फॉर एग्जांपल डायमेंशनल एनालिसिस से फोर्स इनटू वेलोसिटी पावर आ रहा है, लेकिन पावर इज इक्वल टू या mv स्क्वायर करके एनर्जी आ रहा है, लेकिन काइनेटिक एनर्जी तो हाफ mv स्क्वायर होता है ना। तो ये हाफ का फैक्टर डायमेंशन एनालिसिस से कभी नहीं निकल सकता। और दूसरी चीज, डायमेंशन एनालिसिस से ये हम कभी नहीं पता कर सकते हैं ये डॉट प्रोडक्ट था या क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट था, राइट? वो इम्पॉसिबल। सो मे बी यू कैरी आउट डायमेंशन एनालिसिस एंड यू गेट, अरे मैं कुछ कर ही नहीं रहा हूं इसलिए स्क्रीन फ्रीज हुई है भाई। तो डायमेंशनल एनालिसिस से मैं ये बता सकता हूं कि जो रिजल्टेंट क्वांटिटी है उसका डायमेंशन क्या होगा, लेकिन क्या वो मीनिंगफुल फिजिकल क्वांटिटी है ये मैं नहीं बता सकता। फोर्स क्रॉस डिस्प्लेसमेंट डायमेंशनली वुड गिव मी द डायमेंशंस ऑफ वर्क, राइट? एंड आई मे बी वेरी हैप्पी कि अरे नहीं नहीं ये तो वर्क होता है, बट रॉन्ग, क्योंकि मैंने फोर्स क्रॉस डिस्प्लेसमेंट किया। फोर्स क्रॉस डिस्प्लेसमेंट इज नथिंग, इज ए फिजिकली मीनिंगलेस quantity. Okay, so if I have now this angle, torque is something else. Torque is the position vector cross force, not displacement cross force. So if this is angle theta, right? If this is angle theta, then the length of the perpendicular from A to B would be mod of A sine theta. Similarly, the length of perpendicular from B to A would be equal to mod of D sine theta. Right? Very easily worked out. And if this is the case, then the cross product expression can either be written as mod of A sine theta into B, or it can be written as mod of A into mod of D sine theta. Right? So the magnitude of A cross B is equal to AB sine theta as compared to the dot product, which was magnitude of A, magnitude of B cos theta. Now the story of the dot product ended with magnitude of A, magnitude of B cos theta. But the story of the cross product does not end here, because this is only half the answer. This is only the magnitude of the cross product. I also need to define the direction of the cross product. Okay, so the direction of the cross product is defined like this. So the direction of the reason why we teach you the cross product is that you should gain familiarity with the concept of cross product, but practically speaking, we are going to use the cross product only after 6 months or maybe 4 months when we come to the concept of rotation. Before that, in physics that we are studying, जो हम पढ़ाई करेंगे, न्यूटन्स लॉज ऑफ मोशन, वर्क, एनर्जी, यहाँ पे कोई भी क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट का एप्लीकेशन नहीं आता है. So there are two ways of finding the direction of the cross product. There are two ways of finding the direction of the cross product. The first way, which I prefer, is called the right hand thumb rule. Right? And the second method is, I'm going to call it the screwdriver rule. So नहीं, डॉट प्रोडक्ट का मतलब होता है कि वो कितना लाई करता है वन अलोंग द अदर. क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट का ये मतलब नहीं होता. क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट का दूसरा मतलब है, ठीक है ना. क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट हैज अ डिफरेंट मीनिंग, एंड यू कैन सी द मीनिंग, राइट. आई मीन, आई थिंक इट्स वेरी ऑब्वियस हियर. ये तो आपको याद होएगा ना. ये तो अगर मेरे पास एक पैरेललोग्राम है और मैं ये वाली लेंथ मल्टीप्लाइड बाय ये वाली लेंथ करूं तो क्या आएगा? ये पैरेललोग्राम में ये दोनों लेंथ को मल्टीप्लाई करने से क्या आ जाता है? जो ग्रीन लाइन मैंने बनाई है, याद है ना, ये एरिया आ जाता है ना. तो जो क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट है वो बेसिकली क्या करता है कि वो पैरेललोग्राम जो दो वेक्टर बना रहे हैं ना, उनका एरिया दे देता है. The sum gives one diagonal, the difference of the two vectors gives the length of the other diagonal, the cross product gives the area of the parallelogram. Okay, the magnitude of the cross product gives the area of the parallelogram. It does not tell you how much of the vector lies along the other vector. That is the job of the dot product. Okay, so first let us discuss the right hand thumb rule. So right hand thumb, हाँ, base into height वाला. Right hand thumb rule में क्या है कि, let me just, right hand thumb rule में क्या है कि नहीं, ये इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिज्म में, ये this sounds like electromagnetism to you because of the fact that electromagnetism में you may have had to use the right hand thumb rule, but the origin of that is from here. तो जहां पे भी आपने इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिज्म में राइट हैंड थंब रूल यूज किया, यू कैन बी गारंटीड दैट वहां पे क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट्स आ रहे थे. लेकिन क्लास 10th में, बिकॉज वी कुड नॉट टीच यू क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट, देयरफॉर वी जस्ट टॉट यू द राइट हैंड थंब रूल. ओके, so the right hand thumb rule is like this, is going to work like this. So we are going to have we are going to have two vectors. Let's say that this is vector A, okay, and let's say that this is vector B, and we want to find A cross B. ठीक है? तो राइट हैंड थंब रूल में क्या करना है कि अपने राइट हैंड के फिंगर्स को पैरेलल टू ए रखना है. अब ए क्यों रखना है? क्योंकि ये जो मैंने क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट लिखा है इसमें ये वाला जो वेक्टर है इसको हम बोलेंगे फर्स्ट वेक्टर और ये वाला जो वेक्टर है इसको हम बोलेंगे सेकंड वेक्टर. तो राइट हैंड थंब रूल में जो राइट हैंड के फिंगर्स हैं उनको फर्स्ट वेक्टर के अलोंग रखना है. ठीक है? तो फर्स्ट वेक्टर के अलोंग मतलब ए के अलोंग. राइट हैंड के फिंगर्स को ए के अलोंग रखा और फिर बी के अलोंग अपने राइट हैंड के फिंगर्स को कर्ल कर लेना है. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the fingers of my right hand parallel to this, and then I'm going to curl my fingers towards B, and the direction of the thumb will give me the direction of the cross product. So if you see here, the direction of the thumb will be like this, and this will be the direction of A cross B. This will be the direction of A cross B. ठीक है? तो ये right hand thumb rule is what we are going to use for finding the direction of cross products. Right? अभी इस पे आते हैं वापस. We'll come back to this in a moment. First, let me tell you the screwdriver rule. The screwdriver rule is essentially going to give us the same answer. And yes, absolutely. Sorry, मैं भूल गया बताना. So if I ask you for B cross A, right? B cross A. If I ask you for B cross A, then things go topsy-turvy. Because B cross A मैंने जैसे ही बोला, तो अब ये फर्स्ट वेक्टर हो गया और A सेकेंड वेक्टर हो गया. अब मेरे को फिंगर्स ऑफ द राइट हैंड पैरेलल टू B रखना पड़ेगा और A की तरफ टर्न करना पड़ेगा. अब अगर मैंने फिंगर्स पैरेलल टू बी रखा तो याद रखिएगा कि इसको आपको फिंगर्स भी कर्ल करनी है. तो ऐसा नहीं कर सकते हैं कि आप ऐसी सिचुएशन में आ जाएं जहां पे आपकी फिंगर्स उल्टा कर्ल हो रही हैं. दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल, राइट? यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू ब्रेक योर बोन्स. सो यू कीप द फिंगर्स ऑफ योर राइट हैंड पैरेलल टू दिस वेक्टर, एंड व्हेन यू curl your fingers towards the second vector, then you will find that your thumb is actually going down, and therefore the direction of B cross A would be like this. This would be B cross A. And therefore it is for the first time in your life that you come across a product which is non-commutative. Okay, so this means that A cross B vector is not equal to the vector B cross A. Right? So this is the first time where you have come across non-commutative products. Okay. Right. First, let me tell you the screwdriver rule now, and then we'll come back to this. So in the screwdriver rule, things are similar. The result is going to be similar. If this is vector A and this is vector B, right? And you have to find A cross B. Then what you do is you take an imaginary screwdriver. I hope everybody has used one at some point of time. So the head of the screwdriver looks like this, right? And what you're supposed to do is that you're supposed to, there would be a screw like this, and you're supposed to put this edge, right? This edge is supposed to go inside this gap of the screw, and then you rotate the screwdriver. The rotation results in either the tightening or loosening of the screw, right? Now I want to show you how to find A cross B using the screwdriver. So you imagine that you place a screwdriver head, right? ये वाला जो portion है, you place it parallel to the first vector here, right? And then you rotate the screwdriver towards the second vector, right? तो ये जो head है screwdriver का, ये हमने यहाँ पे रखा और हमने B के तरफ इसको रोटेट किया. जब B के तरफ हमने इसको रोटेट किया, ठीक है, तो स्क्रू किधर जाएगा? See, we are not interested in the screwdriver, we are interested in the screw. जब हम ये ग्रीन लाइन के अलोंग स्क्रूड्राइवर का हेड रख के ब्लू एरो के तरफ घुमाएंगे स्क्रूड्राइवर को, तो स्क्रू किधर जाएगा? The screw will travel into the plane, right? Therefore, the direction of A cross B will be along the direction of motion of the screw, which is into the plane. Right? Into the plane. आया समझ में? So the head of the screwdriver, is put on first vector and rotated towards second vector. The direction of motion of screw is A cross B. Right? So whichever of the two methods suits you, you can use. Again, you will actually be using this after at least 4 or 5 months. So you don't have to really worry about it, Abhi. I will tell you another method. I will tell you another method of finding the cross product. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ूं मैं. Let me just I'm going to rub this out. इसका कोई use नहीं है. Okay, so the next is that we want to find the cross product of we want to find the cross product of, by the way, I hope एक मिनट बस, ये आइडिया सबको क्लियर होना चाहिए. Just idea should be clear to everyone. That if we have a vector A and we have a vector B, then the vector A cross C, A cross B, sorry, is here. Right? The magnitude of the vector A cross B is equal to the area of this parallelogram. So length of the red arrow is equal to area of the yellow shaded region. And I'm going to write something now, which is very, very important. So A cross B is perpendicular to A, and A cross B is perpendicular to B. Now, as I have told you that physics and maths are all about notation, I don't want to write these lengthy sentences. So I'll just write A cross B dot A is equal to 0. Similarly, A cross B dot B is equal to 0. And the most important thing, A cross B is not equal to B cross A. However, A cross B is equal to minus of B cross A, right? And the magnitude of A cross B is equal to AB sin theta. ठीक है ना. ये दो तीन चीजें अपन को याद रखनी है कि A क्रॉस B जो वेक्टर होता है वो magnitude wise it is equal to the area of the parallelogram formed by the two vectors. In direction wise it is perpendicular to the plane formed by A and B. Therefore it must be perpendicular to A and it must be perpendicular to B. Okay. चलो अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. Let me just take a snapshot. And let me just So we have now the vector product or the cross product of basis vectors. Okay. So now, who is going to tell me? आई क्रॉस आई कितना होएगा? आई क्रॉस आई कितना होएगा? जीरो। जे क्रॉस जे जीरो, के क्रॉस के जीरो। ऐसा क्यों है? Please remember that mod of A cross B is equal to the area of parallelogram formed by the vectors A and B. So if A and B are parallel or anti-parallel, then पैरेललोग्राम का एरिया क्या आएगा? दो पैरेलल लाइन में आपको दे दूंगा तो एरिया ऑफ पैरेललोग्राम क्या आएगा? जीरो। Just like a dot product was zero for perpendicular vectors, for parallel vectors the cross product will be zero. Okay, parallel vectors cross product will be zero. So I cross I, j cross j, k cross k, सब zero हो जाए. Next question. What about I cross j? First, I want to talk about the magnitude of this, and then I want to talk about the direction of this. So, what is the magnitude of I cross j? Magnitude तो उसी formula से आएगा ना, mod of I, mod of j, sine of angle between them. So magnitude will be 1 because this will be mod of I cap, mod of j cap into sine of the angle between them, which is 90 degrees. Therefore, this is 1 into 1 into 1, which is 1. Direction of I cross j क्या है? Let's try. So we have the XYZ axis. ये हो गया मेरा I. ये हो गया J. I will place my fingers. I will place my fingers parallel to the first vector, and then when I curl my fingers towards the second vector, the direction of the thumb will be here. So the direction of I cross j is along positive z axis. Therefore, I cross j is equal to k, because a vector along the positive z-axis having a magnitude of 1, right, must be k cap. A vector along the positive z-axis having a magnitude of 1 must be k cap. So I cross j is equal to k. ये आया सबको समझ में? This should be understood by everyone. Very, very important. I cross j is equal to k. ये आया समझ में? Good. Now, can you tell me अरे अपना हाथ कॉपी पे रखो ना. अपना हाथ जो है ऐसे आप बनाओ x एक्सिस और y एक्सिस और अपना हाथ कॉपी पे रखो, राइट हैंड कॉपी पे रखो, सच दैट द फिंगर्स आर पैरेलल टू द एक्स एक्सिस, एंड देन कर्ल योर फिंगर्स अलोंग द वाई टुवर्ड्स द वाई एक्सिस। थंब किधर जा रहा है, आया ना समझ में? प्लेस द फिंगर्स parallel to the x-axis such that you can curl your fingers in this direction. Right? आया समझ में? विजुलाइज हुआ? What will be J cross K? अब visualize करो. Try to do it. Try to do this yourself. What would be J cross K? And what would be I cross K? नहीं, गलत। हाँ, पहला वाला सही है, दूसरा वाला बताओ। हाँ, माइनस क्या? नहीं भाई, माइनस जेड कहाँ से आ जाएगा? हाँ हाँ, यस। Chalo, I'll tell you a trick so that you don't have to remember anything. So I cross J is equal to K.